Welcome to Atlanta Tarot. This is the tarot forecast for Taurus for the month of December, including the last half of November. We are in the sign of Sagittarius. The element is fire, so it's fast-moving energy, forward-moving energy, action. And you, Taurus, are in your 8th house, which is the Scorpio house. So here we'll be focusing, or under the microscope will be money, other people's money, banks' money, institutions, lending places, but all about other people's money and how that affects you. Examining your finances and sex, intimacy. All these issues that we don't really like to talk about these things, but they come to the surface this 4 weeks. So that's what will be going on for you, Taurus. So don't worry so much if these things arise and you go, oh my God, I don't want to think about it. You've got to deal with it. 8 of Cups is the energy. So it's about a relationship that has probably gone a bit stale. It's kind of contained. It's routine. It feels like it's not going anywhere. So rather than just cut and run and avoid it, this month, Taurus, you've got to sort of examine it and face up to it and face your fears and just say, okay, I need a holiday from this person for a bit. This is not really going anywhere at the moment. It's sort of swimming around and round in a very contained space. It's a bit like an aquarium and those poor sea creatures in there just going around and around. So let's see. And this will bring in those intimacy issues, obviously, especially with a close relationship. Where you are right now. King of Wands. Movement. Considering moving, perhaps. This is a very male energy. He is a leader. He is very dynamic. He gets things done. He's a sort of a gypsy kind of a man. He moves around from place to place, or he comes and he goes. He's at the top of the pile. It could be this person too is the one initiating, wants to move somewhere, wants to go away somewhere, do something different, you know, mix life up a bit. Very strong energy, very forceful, Sagittarian or fire sort of king. So he is right where you are right now. So he might be this person that you kind of need a bit of a break from in terms of whichever way you choose to look at it. So let's see the influencing card for this and the rest of the reading. And it is him again, the 3 of Wands. So it's looking out to the horizon. It's all about sort of growth. And what's that other word? It's just growth and having a really good platform that you've actually established, but now moving on, you know, moving on to the next level always. It's very much an overseas card. So this man, this King of Wands, whoever he is to you, he might come from another country. He might be from somewhere else. And so it's all about, maybe it's all about him, or maybe he needs a break or something like that. But you can tailor this to whatever, however it works out for you. But it's very much about growth on a very solid platform. So there's nothing to be worried about. But it is really far off horizons. It's looking out to see what will come and plan for that, because you know you're in a good space at the moment. Okay. Let's have a look what was happening in October, November for you. And we had the 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands is just about almost reaching the end. Almost, you're running a marathon, you've done 41 Ks, you've got 1 to go. You're absolutely obliterated, you're exhausted. But you've got to get over the line. So that's where you were. You're just like, oh, okay, where are we going? I'm so exhausted with this. I'm tired. I don't think it'll ever come to an end. However, it is that adrenaline that will get you over the line and bring a bit of clarity after, you know, quite a strong effort as well. With Wands, it's always lots of action coming in. So you could be a bit physically tired from all this, But just always know that it always works out in the end, doesn't it? Nice card. Okay, recent influences, Taurus. 5 of Wands. So once again, more wands. So we've got all wands, Taurus. So you may have felt held back recently. Especially, well, we're talking about money and sex, aren't we, for Taurus this 4 weeks. So, yeah, you may have felt held back, obstacles constantly popping up, sick and tired of the obstacles, navigating the obstacles, going around the long way rather than taking shortcuts, but generally just feeling like you have been held back by a group of people. But, you know, I feel like the meaning of this card is sometimes you've just got to learn to navigate the obstacles, and you've got to learn to use timing very cleverly, because if it's not the right time, you'll keep getting held back. But then there'll come a point where it is the right time, and then things will just rush and gush forward. So don't worry so much about that. But it's when we are held back that we kind of find a new way to do something, and then we feel like, oh yeah, I actually learnt something from that holding back time. There you go. And change as well. 5 of Wands. It's always about change, number 5. Okay, let's see what lesson you'll be learning this 4 weeks. Strong, independent female energy. So she is the 9 of Coins. So it's about stability. It's about just having that luxury of almost reaching your goal. But just knowing that you've done it independently, you've got to do things for yourself. And especially because we're in the 8th house, it's like sometimes, you know, when we do have close partners, it's like we can become sort of entwined with that and lose our identity. And this card says, well, reclaim your identity. You know, it is you at the end of the day. You're a separate being from the couple. So you're doing well, so always forge with that. And if things aren't going well with your relationship, we'll focus on things that you are going well with. But it's a beautiful card, and it's a reward card, basically, Taurus. Okay, let's see near future. Page of Wands. So good news is coming. The start of something new. It is the spark that starts the fire. It is new good things coming in, and things that will actually move. Unlike the 5 of Wands where you're held back, this is like green light, go. So fabulous news coming to you. If you're waiting for good news, it's coming. So wonderful. Can be about children as well, or a child coming in, or a child about to be born, especially in the months of November, December, Sagittarian energy. This is going to be a very energetic, creative, bit of a nuisance child, but nevertheless a very entertaining, energetic child. Let's see what's happening that you're not realising. The Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords talks about having clarity about a situation, knowing when to say, look, once again with sex and money, it's about making a very clear decision. She has got her sword there. She's well protected. Swords in her hair, swords in her hand. She has experienced a lot of ups and downs, and she knows the only way through is just to have that clear communication, use the clarity to solve the problem. So that is sitting in your back pocket there, Taurus. So that is a really lovely card to have when you really need to be clear about these issues, whether it is about your money, other people's money, money you owe, or banks that you are paying your mortgage to. It's all about sorting those things out this month, and also with your intimate sex and what goes on there in your relationship. And maybe sort of, you know, just give it a bit of a dry clean. Let's see how others see you. 8 of Pentacles, wonderful, working really well. It's the Master's Apprentice card. It's like typical Taurus. It's like, I've achieved that, what's next? And they never rest, because Tauruses are all about work and, you know, building slow-moving energy, really, the Taurus, but they get things done. They get to the top of their game, and then they find a new project to begin. So others see you as this, and they might be seeing you, oh, look, she's always at work, or he's always working, this person. One project after another, all about, you know, these achievements, but this is who you are. But it's a wonderful card as well to just, you know, always build and always learn in this life, and you know that is a good life lived, isn't it? If you've always got something new on the boil or on the go, or so that's how people see you. The Master's Apprentice. What you're feeling positive about? The Star. You are exactly where you're meant to be, Taurus, this month, warts and all. Doesn't matter, whatever comes up, deal with it, as we've got here already. You know, the people in your life are meant to be there. The problems are meant to be solved. There's no backing out. There's no turning back, because the minute you stop still and stagnate is that, you know, you sort of try and cut off the momentum. You've got to be moving forward. So everything is exactly as it should be, Taurus. So just go with it. Learn the lessons. Face the fears, because this is where you're meant to be at this time. Final outcome. The Moon. The Moon is our subconscious. The Moon is obscuring something that you can't see at the moment. There may be some deceptive influences around where you're thinking, you know, by the time we're coming up to the end of Sagittarius, just before Christmas, there may be some sort of cloudy business, foggy sort of atmosphere around where you feel like you're not really getting the full picture. Well, you're just going to have to wait for that to sort of reveal itself. Wait for the clouds to dissipate so you can see. It's the card of the night, the Moon, obviously. So it's like when we're at night and, you know, you can't really see things. Things seem different, look differently at night. You know, it's a completely different, it's like not illuminated like day. And night also brings, you know, up fears and things. But just watch for any deceptive influences around. Once again, face them. Very big sort of intuitive card too. The Moon's a very intuitive planet, and it's also about, it governs the sign of Cancer, so it's very intuitive, but very deep as well. And yeah, so cloudy skies will eventually dissipate to clear skies, and you will see, probably once we've moved past Christmas, exactly what's going on. So you just have to go with it, as the star says. Okay, let's see your message, Taurus. And it is wisdom. Know well what leads you forward and what holds you back, and choose the path that leads to wisdom. As the Buddha taught, wisdom is the actual means by which we can purify ourselves. Just knowing this brings calmness and then faith, and eventually it brings the truth to the light. That is the wonderful accompaniment to that Moon. So fabulous. Wisdom. Okay, Taurus, have a great month. I'll talk to you next month. Thank you for listening.